In today's video, I got a method to show you, a stretching method that not only releases tight muscles, but it also strengthens the body too at the same time with fascia strength. Let's take a look. Whenever you hear me use the term fascia wetsuit, I'm referring to the Spider-Man-like suit of fascia tissue that covers your muscles and joints. Now when you think of fascia, I want you to think of that stretchy, tough skin, that little outer layer of connective tissue you see when you cut into a chicken breast. That fascia, that connective tissue, covers your muscles and your joints and forms what I call the fascia wetsuit. Now in this little mini course, in my bigger fascia strength and power program, we train the fascia wetsuit to create this, to fill your body with this elasticity strength. This elasticity strength gives you great strength and the ability to move like a cat at the same time. Often the secret of the great athletes and martial artists. Not only does it do that, but at the same time, building fascia strength will heal old injuries. It heals the body from the inside out. Most people stretch in a way where they're pulling on their muscles with an external force, usually their own body, and they're just kind of pulling the muscles like a piece of meat. All right, let me give you an example. Go ahead and put your arm across your body, and let's say you want to stretch the back of your shoulder. You could just imagine a lot of people grabbing their elbow and pulling their elbow, an external force, pulling on that elbow, and keep pulling it till you feel a stretch on the back of your arm, okay? That is stretching with an external force. That area of your body is doing nothing. It's just being tugged on like you're trying to tenderize or pull a piece of meat or something. You're just stretching it. It is not involved. The brain doesn't have to do much. The meat's just being pulled. The muscle's being pulled, okay? What I want to do is learn how to activate and elongate that, because when I stretch it like this, I'm trying to lengthen the tissues in the back of my shoulder, right? I'm trying to stretch them. Stretch them means make them longer. Well, if I can gain control of that area through my brain and just kind of put my mind there, maybe straighten my arms, I'm going to put my mind right in the back of my shoulder there and just think of lengthening my arms and my shoulders, specifically that back of my shoulder there. I feel that area lengthening right now. I am stretching it. And this is a big, big difference. It's no longer inactive where I'm just yanking on it with my other arm. My brain is connecting to that muscle tissue and stretching it. When it does that, I am gaining control of that eccentric contraction. Muscles do two things, or two contractions. They do a concentric contraction. Let's say I'm going to do an arm curl, where the bicep muscle, it shortens. Okay, it shortens. But I can also lengthen the bicep, and if I lengthen it, the muscle eccentrically contracts. So if we want to build fascia strength, we want to be able to eccentrically contract, mean lengthen the muscles throughout the whole body. And if we can gain that control, and it's a skill that takes some time, but if we can gain that skill, we will be able to stretch the fascia wetsuit and make our body this human band of power. I call it slingshot strength, okay? The key is, how do I get you there? And a lot of you are tight. You got tight muscles, you've been beaten up with life, everything has a way of contracting inwards, especially the muscles along our torso in the front and in the back, where everything's tight and it's kind of glued down. We want to be able to open these muscles, eccentrically contract, lengthen the muscles. We're going to lengthen to strengthen, okay? And I have a stretch here I'm going to show you now where it's kind of a two-part stretch where we're going to start waking up these muscles. Okay, like I said, this is a two-part stretch where we're trying to gain control of the muscles throughout the body to lengthen and strengthen them. All right? The first part, and we're doing that to activate fascia strength. This will all make more sense as we move along. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to get in a good upright position where I'm standing. I'm going to think of suspending my head by bringing my crown to the ceiling and then hanging my shoulders off of that. So I'm kind of like hanging myself from my head to stretch my spine. I can even bend my knees a little bit, okay, and think of my tailbone being drawn downwards off of the hanging head. So I get a little stretch in my spine just by hanging my head, all right? So that's my position. I'm going to go ahead and stretch one arm up like this and one down like this. And I like to have opposite palms. So this front hand, okay, or this one that's up in the air, that palm is forward. This arm here, the one that is down, I got the palm facing behind me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch opposite directions, diagonals. This arm's going this way, this hand is stretching out that way, the other hand is stretching out the other way. And what I'm trying to do is engage that with some significant effort, okay? Stretch my fingers, my wrists, my elbows, my arms, shoulders. And the part I'm really trying to get is inside my chest and my upper back. I'm trying to stretch all these tissues, not just my arms, and get a nice stretch for maybe, 5 seconds. And then I'm just going to rotate and do the opposite. And as I rotate, I switch my palm positions, and now I'm opposite. Now I'm going to stretch as hard. I'm kind of doing it as hard as I can. Be careful if you're injured, but I'm trying to get as much stretch as I can, power stretch in this position. Stretch the arms, stretch the chest, the back, 5 seconds like that, and let's switch to the other one. 5 seconds, 5, 4, stretch, 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 relax, and then the other one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax. Feel if you feel any more length in your body. Stretching from left to right. Again, the head is up and the tailbone's down, so I'm getting a stretch up and down too, okay, throughout my spine, okay? Now, I know many of you are tight. If you're above 40 and you've lived just a normal life, you're probably beat up enough where these muscles, especially in your torso, your front and your back, you probably can't elongate them very well. That's a good sign that you need this work. This work will reverse that inability. You know, life is beating you up, so you start withdrawing in and you're in this contracted state. All right? That contracted state is weakness. All right? It locks your body up. It's future injury. It makes you weak today, but it's also vulnerable future injury, you know, once life beats you up a little more. This process of unwinding that contracted state of your muscles lengthens them, and now they can heal, and now we can get stronger with fascia strength. Okay? So, the second part of this stretch, we did this first part, you know, let's say you're going to do 3 sets each side, okay, 5 seconds each, all right? And then when I'm done with that one, I'm going to hug a big exercise ball. I'm going to pretend it's right in my middle. I got a ball here. I'm going to pretend, again, my head's suspended, my knees are bent, I'm lengthening my spine, but I'm hugging this ball. And I'm thinking that this ball is being blown up in my arms. And when it blows up, it stretches my arms, my spine, left to right, my front, the back, everything is getting stretched because the ball is blowing up in my arms. You don't need a ball to do this. You can just imagine it. and you'll feel like you're lengthening. Everything's lengthening. So without the ball, it just looks like this. I'm hollowing out my body. Okay, I'm hollowing out. Just like that. Hollow out. Stretch the arms, chest, side to side. The head is up, the tailbone's down. You're trying to get more length. Hold that for, let's say, 10 seconds. Okay, and relax. Feel that length you have. The length, the fascia wetsuit is being stretched up and down and from left to right. Again, if you're not feeling a stretch like I'm saying, like right now I really feel that stretch, both up and down throughout my torso and left to right. If you're so locked down right now with muscular tension, you might not feel it. You just got to spend more time connecting your brain with those muscles to learn how to elongate them again. I say again because probably when you were younger, back when you were a pre-teenager or maybe even 20 years old, when you were younger, you would be able to do this no problem. Life has beat you up. Now you've lost control of elongating the muscles. I'm giving you this ball imagery. It's just a visual. You're holding that big ball. It's being blown up into you. And you can imagine that ball getting bigger in your arms. It's lengthening everything because it's blowing you up. It's making my head go higher, my hip lower, so I'm getting a stretch in my spine. My chest and my upper back is going wider, the ball's blowing up. My arms are stretching more. I hold that for 10 seconds. I relax. I feel this new length. I just stretched the fascia wetsuit. To help give you a visual what the fascia wetsuit is doing when we activate fascia strength, I found this little wine sleeve. It goes over wine bottles, okay? And it kind of looks like the webbing of the fascia wetsuit. So if you learn how to lengthen to strengthen, eccentrically elongate the muscles, what it does to that fascia wetsuit that covers the muscles is it puts a stretch on it. And when that webbing is stretched, it creates elasticity. That's the slingshot strength I'm talking about from that elasticity. So as I walk around in what I call a spring-loaded posture, I have a little tautness in my fascia wetsuit. My muscles are in an elongated state, but they're not tense. All right, so I bounce along the landscape because I have this little stretch going on in my fascia wetsuit. Every step, I got this almost like I'm walking on a pogo stick or a trampoline because I have that elasticity in my body. Okay, now when I need more strength, let's say I'm going to throw a punch or I'm going to pick something up heavy, I put more stretch on the fascia wetsuit to create more fascia strength, more strength in the stretch, basically, the tautness of the fascia wetsuit. Okay, I want to put this all together for you so you can put the stretches we just did to stretch the fascia wetsuit, and when it's after it's stretched, we're going to take that stretch in this wetsuit and put a load on it. We're going to put a load on it so you can start to understand how we build fascia strength. So for this little part of the workout, I want you to get a bar. I got a 15-pound bar, okay? And actually it doesn't need to be a bar. It could be 2 light dumbbells. Heck, it could be a bag of groceries. Something where you, again, go on the light side. I just have 15 pounds here. So stay a little lighter, okay? And it needs to be something you can hold in your hands and kind of do an arm curl with, okay? Before we grab the bar, though, we're going to go ahead and do those 2 stretches to stretch the fascia wetsuit, okay? So let's start with the first one. We're going to go ahead and suspend the head, drop the tailbone a little bit so I get a nice stretch in my spine. One arm up, one arm down. I am going to stretch those arms. And not only am I stretching the arms, I'm stretching the torso left to right as much as I can. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then go to the other side. basically hard as you can. Significant stretch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go to the other side. Get a nice stretch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. One last time. On this side, get a good stretch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now gently relax the stretch, the tension, but keep the stretch you just created inside your body. Feel that stretch, but don't have the muscular tension. Okay? Now go straight into that imaginary ball exercise where we're holding that ball and that ball is blowing up into your body, stretching your head up, tailbone down, your upper back and chest left to right. Go ahead and do 10 seconds. Your arms are being stretched. Go ahead as hard as you can. 10, 9, 8, 7. My back just cracked. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax the stretch, relax the tension, but keep the length. Feel the length in your body. You're a little taller, a little wider. We're going to keep that length and grab your bar, dumbbells, whatever you have, and I'm going to put it in a half curl position while keeping that stretch in the fascia wetsuit. Okay? Ideally, I want the stretch in the fascia wetsuit to be assisting my arms at holding the bar up. Okay, when someone looks at me doing an arm curl at the gym, they think, oh, that's a bicep workout, an arm workout. But when I'm holding this, I'm thinking of relaxing the tension in my arms and transferring that muscle tension to the stretch in my fascia wetsuit. Okay, that's the elasticity strength. So to feel that, I want you to go ahead and do the wrong thing, where you're going to contract your muscles, contract your arm muscles, even hunch over a little bit, showing that you're contracting, doing the wrong thing, and feel that muscle tension. Okay, exaggerate a little bit. Now I want you to transfer that tension, that muscle tension, relax the muscles, and stretch the fascia wetsuit. Stretch it gently. Just open up your chest, lengthen your spine, and transfer the load from muscle tension to fascia tension. When you got a load, and I have a 15-pound load on my stretched fascia wetsuit, now I'm building fascia strength. I'm building muscle strength when I'm using contractile, shortening the muscle with a load. That's muscle strength. When I go ahead and take the load off my arms, off my muscle contraction, and lengthen the fascia wetsuit, now maybe, half of that load is now distributed through the rest of my body. Now my arms aren't doing as much of the work. I'm building fascia strength. Now a second component to this is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to relax and see if I can move my body with these micro movements where my hips and my shoulders are moving. Just these little micro movements. I'm relaxed. And what I'm proving here is that I can stay agile while holding this load in my hands. If I'm strict contractile muscle tension, I can't move very well. But once I transfer to fascia strength, relax the muscles, go ahead and lengthen, put it on the fascia wetsuit, put a lot of the load on the fascia wetsuit, now my body is free to move. And I'm just kind of moving from center, moving my hips, moving my upper back. I'm keeping my shoulders down. I'm not hiking my shoulders up like this. I'm keeping those down, but I'm just moving. kind of in a rotation diagonal 8 type movement with this load. I'm marrying agility, cat-like agility, with strength when I do this. Now, if this load is so heavy that when I go to, let's say I got 75 pounds and I'm holding this, and I go to do this relaxed movement, I can't because it's too heavy and I have to resort to contractile muscle strength. That means I need to lighten up. Go lighter so you can relax. Hold the load with the fascia wetsuit and move. All right? Take your time, gradually go up in weight over time. You know, important just to let the fascia wetsuit support the bar as much as you can so you can move freely. And the other thing you can do is go ahead and just do some arm curls where you are relying more on the fascia wetsuit rather than the arm muscles. Just think the stretch in the fascia wetsuit, you can feel it all the way down to your feet. Like when I do these curls, I feel the bar into my feet pressing down into the ground, and it helps me lift the bar. So let me know how you're doing in the comments. And again, I understand many of you won't get this right away. And if you can't get it, maybe say in a comment, not today, but I'm going to keep working at it and see where it goes. And then maybe update the comments a week from now or something. And if you get it right away, even if you get a hint of it, when I say get it, all of a sudden you feel these tissues starting to open up, where before they weren't there. You know, go ahead and comment that too, okay? This fascia strength that I talk about is really, you know, I started pursuing it about 12 years ago when I started a martial art called Systema, and I was learning, while I started to relax my body through that martial art, I started activating this fascia wetsuit that I talk about. I was lengthening to strengthen. It healed my injuries, and I became a lot more athletic, okay? My ability to move, stronger, all those attributes that make you a better athlete and martial artist come out of fascia strength. And it's cool if you're getting older and you've got injuries like many of us do, because you get to heal your body at the same time. So if you want to pursue this work a little more, I have a program called Fascia Strength and Power. I'll leave the link down below. Other than that, keep clipping away with this. In time, it will come. We'll see you on the next video.